You ever see a beehive, like where they raise honey and they've got the little boxes built, and you watch these worker bees leave the hive, come back, leave the hive, come back, constantly busy, always doing, mindlessly. You know, it seems mindless, it seems robotic. It's almost like drones, in and out, in and out, in and out. I believe they may call them drones. They have one programming. They have a task. That task is programmed in them. They don't deviate. They don't leave and just go screw around. They stay on task. They will die. They will give everything to protect one bee, to protect a queen. And their lot in life is predetermined. There's no room for adjustment. There's no option, no ability to transcend and be something different. You fly the mission. You do what you're told. You're just a worker bee. You open up that hive and you look at that honeycomb, and it's unreal at the precision and the artistry and the ability that they have. What they're able to do is awe-inspiring. It's truly mesmerizing. It's hard to look at it and not just be blown away. It's machine precision. You know, we strive as people to create artificial intelligence that can do this. We can't create on this level of precision, on this level of quality, from a spider's web to a beehive to a conch shell. We don't have the ability to create in the way that nature around us creates. It's mesmerizing. It's awe-inspiring. Our skyscrapers are nothing to a beehive. Not really. Not when you look at it. I mean, it's amazing. But those bees are programmed, and they don't deviate. That's how they build great things. They don't deviate. They stay on task. Bees don't have art. I mean, it looks like a work of art. You look at the beehive, it looks like a work of art. It's not. It's mindless precision. It's the inability for free thought. It's the inability to act independently. It's the inability to look and go, you know what that beehive needs? A happy little tree right here. There's no worker bee Bob Ross. They'd hold him down and kill him and feed him back to the queen. There's no room for deviation. There's no room for free thought. Don't even hesitate and start to question. Build the damn hive. It's all you got to do. And when you're done, when you die, there'll be no great memorial in your name. There'll be no articles written. There'll be no op-ed pieces made. They will be nothing to remind the other bees that you were ever there. Not even for a second. You know what happens when worker bees die? They get replaced by other worker bees. That's what happens when worker bees die. I don't even know if worker bees have the ability to put value on any other bee besides the queen. If you're bee 1 and you've worked the entirety of your short life right beside bee 4, and all of a sudden bee 4 gets disoriented, it gets caught in a spider's web, whatever the case may be. Hold on, that probably messed with my mic. Whatever the case may be, bee 4 is gone. Do you know that? Do you understand that? Do you recognize that? Are you simply programmed to take up the slack until a new worker bee is present? What do you do? It's unbelievable the efficiency, the skill, and the dedication of worker bees. You know what worker bees don't have? Worker bees don't have great literature. You know why worker bees don't have great literature? Because as far as we can tell, worker bees don't have love. They don't need love. Without love, there's no hate. People don't want to give credit to the other side of the coin. One's just as important as the other. And you have to be able to control both. Without love, there's no desire. Without desire, there's no longing. Without longing, there's no ponification. Without thinking, there's no creating. Without the ability to change perspective, there's no opportunity to mold new ideals and be revolutionary. Without revolution, there's no change. And without change, you just make beehives. It's all you got to do. It's what's programmed in you to do. Just make beehives. I don't know how the queen works. Maybe the queen has free reign of everything. Maybe the queen can think. Maybe the queen can process things. Maybe the queen can question. Maybe the queen has the ability to look outside the box. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how free the queen is. Worker bees are still slaves. Productive slaves. Content slaves. They know no different. And all the things that would allow them to rebel are taken away from them. Bees are very important. I've read articles that without the appropriate bee population, the world could slowly die. We may find an artificial way to replace the bees. I did read a tech article on that this is very far out there and we're very far away from it, but they looked at the possibility of maybe someday replacing the bee. Nanotech, something of that nature. If they had to. Until we could repopulate the bees. That nanotech, under human design, who knows if it can make that perfect hive. It wouldn't really be programmed to make that perfect hive. It'd be programmed to pollinate and do all these things that are vital to everything else's survival that bees do by accident. Just as a consequence of their programming, they keep the world alive. As a consequence of their programming, bees are one of the most vital parts of this machine that we live on. You know what bees don't have? Great music. There's no bee composers. They don't have time. They just got to build that hive. That's all they've got to do is build that hive. Make that honey. Pollinate those flowers. It's an easy existence to a certain degree. No great physical strain on the bee because it doesn't know what physical strain is. There's no great mental strain on any slave if the slave has never known anything but slavery. Oh, there's unhappiness. There's all these things that, as far as we know, a bee doesn't feel, but we're humans. So it can't be slavery because they're programmed to do it. It's in their DNA. And see, there's two ways to program. I don't know, maybe there's many ways to program. But if you think about it, the bee's built that way. It's in its structure. It's designed that way. It's designed to build the perfect hive. Perfect geometry. There's imperfections. There's imperfections in everything. We don't even understand what true perfection is. It's not achievable. It's not possible. But damn if they're not close. Look at those hives. Bees don't have great discussions. Bees don't discuss the fine little nuances in life, the little things that allow us to become individuals. Bees don't have that. They don't have the thought process, the ability to discuss and consider ideals. Bees don't have that. They get that perfect hive, but bees don't have that. Bees are always connected. It's almost like a sixth sense. It's a natural connection between them and the queen, between them and the hive, between them and the rest of the group. Almost a detection. They're always connected. They can always find home. They're designed to always find home because they're always connected on kind of like this invisible network that we can't see. It's there. We know it's there. We can't see it. And that invisible network connects them, helps keep them programmed. We know that this invisible network that helps them find their home is there because we can infect it. They believe that our 5G and LTE cell phone towers, UHF, VHF, blah, 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 all these things we're pumping into the sky are disconnecting the bees. That could be what's killing the bees. We're unprogramming the bees. For what? For a cell phone connection. What value does that cell phone connection have? It programs us. We're making worker bees. I see them all the time, texting and driving, walking head down, face on screen. See them all the time. I use my phone. Don't get me wrong. I'm recording on my phone right now. See, the phone and the internet and all these things give us the ability to speak out, to say anything. Now, censorship's taking that away. Because it's a dangerous thing. It's dangerous for the programmers. It's dangerous for the queen bees. That's what it's dangerous for. Look what a hive we built. Cell phone towers and power lines. Geometrical shapes, large buildings. Highways connected endlessly. We're pollinating. We're pollinating with money, with disease, with viruses, from one end to the other. Nature built the perfect slave, the perfect machine. Nature built the bee. We're man. The greatest thing to ever walk the face of the earth. And the few people in the position to do so basically just looked at nature and said, hold my beer. Watch this. Watch me make the perfect slave. Watch me make the perfect drone. Watch me make the perfect worker bee. We're striving. Better internet, better connections. we're going to be the greatest force of worker bees in the world. Indian Proverbs, there's one that says, large desire is endless poverty. Go on now. Build that hive, make that honey.